TheDailyTruth.today. And now your host, Rob Brown.
Hurry up and move along to Rob in New Jersey.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Thanks for taking the call. I just want to paint a scenario for you. Okay, we know that everyone's been saying that the Republican National Committee is rigged. All right, so if we know this, and we know basically that Hillary and Ted Cruz and most of the candidates are CFR members, but Trump is the outsider. He's not been part of the crew, so to speak. Okay, so let's say Trump gets in there. All right, he gets elected. You know the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations, is going to have one of their agents behind him as the VP. So what happens if he has to allow the CFR to put either Bush or Ted Cruz as VP? What do you guys think about that?
Well, I
don't think it'll ever happen.
I think if Ted Cruz doesn't get the nomination, he's probably a top pick for Supreme Court justice from what I've been seeing.
Ugh.
A lot of talks. I think that's probably the route that'll go with that. But I would see more of a Kasich or something maybe getting picked for Trump. I mean, I don't know.
Well, see, that's one of the unfortunate things that Trump has not been able to run the table at 60% of the vote starting back in January is he's lost the autonomy to select his own VP right now because basically to win the nomination, he's got to get that 1237 in Cleveland. It's very likely that the GOP is going to do everything they can, as we've talked about previously. But he's also in a situation where he's got to win the nomination. He's really got to cut a deal right now, potentially with Kasich, potentially with Ted Cruz. Now, this is going to make me very unpopular with the Trumpians and the Cruzers. But the best way, I think, for Trump to become the nominee and become president is for him to cut a deal with Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz says the right things, okay? We know about his Bush legacy. We know about his Goldman Sachs connections. We know about his wife and her connections with the CFR. We know about a lot of this stuff, but he says the right things. He wakes up people. The people that support him are constitutionalists, so they're going to hold his feet to the fire. Ted Cruz is pretty doggone politically sharp, as we've seen the way he's doing the delegate game behind the scenes. He's kind of like when, you've got your NFL team, you got the Cowboys and the Redskins, and one of those players on that other team, man, you just absolutely hate him. And Ted Cruz is that guy. Oh, man, that guy. But you know what? If all of a sudden he came on your team and started really doing a good job for you, he might be all right. And I think Ted Cruz as a VP would guarantee Trump the presidential nomination at the RNC. So I know that's getting a lot of people irritated, but I think there's also a lot of people that see that they're going to walk in there, Trump and Cruz, with their combined delegate vote counts, they're probably going to walk into Cleveland with 1,800 some odd delegates between the two of them. That would make Trump the nominee. And so, we know about the Canadian
I think he can control Ted Cruz.
That's
one
just
thing I want
he's
to point
VP.
out.
Just make sure that he lives in Texas and doesn't live in D.C. close to Trump.
Exactly. I want to point out, too, that Trump did meet with Richard Haas, who was, I think he's head of the CFR or was head of the CFR.
Mm-hmm.
And this is stuff we do have to look out for because that's what they did with Ronald Reagan's cabinet. They loaded up CFR members on there. And so they were able to steer him in ways that wasn't beneficial for America. So we have to educate Trump on this stuff, whether he knows it or not. I mean, we need to at least put it out there like, hey, you need to watch these guys, these CFR guys. They have one goal in mind, and that's a one-world government, and you can't forget that.
And we got to remember, though, one of Trump's closest advisor is Senator Jeff Sessions, and Jeff Sessions knows the game on CFR.
That's true, yeah. So you have a lot of good stuff with Trump, and I think our duty as press and citizens out there is to keep educating him on these issues. I don't know if he was into the 28 pages before we started talking about it. I don't know if he was into the veterans, as we've been talking about it. I mean, he came out with this stuff, but I think we've helped guide a lot of what he's saying now because the word is out that he listens to the Alex Jones show.
Right. He's a great guy, a good guy. Well, okay, it's 9:02 now, so I'm just going to go ahead, clean out the board.
We're going to finish the callers.
Let's go with Tom in Louisiana. Been holding for quite some time. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, only about an hour, but that's fine. Just to talk to you guys. All right, so that last caller kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but there's really something I think everyone needs to focus on. what they did to Reagan by implanting Bush, if they do it to Trump, I think they're going to try an assassination attempt or something equally stupid, which I think at this point, considering how far it's gone and the amount of support that Trump has, I think everyone's going to see through them, either one, trying to steal it, or two, if they do try to put him in, not giving him a strong VP. I think he really, really should push for a strong Republican vice presidential candidate, somebody who they'll be too afraid of to assassinate or attempt to remove Trump from office. Someone like Rand Paul. Ron Paul, Rand Paul, somebody like that. Somebody that they would be equally as scared of. Because if they don't, then he's just going to get in there and they're going to do like they did with, hopefully not with Kennedy, but
I mean, they're just as scared of Cruz.
Something equally stupid.
Right. Well, and also too, Trump is such a love him or hate him person that people could. I mean, they've got a page up on Facebook that they won't take down about assassinating him. So they could play it off on some crazy social justice warrior, literally.
I mean, I'd love to see somebody like Rand Paul, but only time will tell.
Right. I would love that as well. Thank you, Tom in Louisiana. Let's move along to John in Wisconsin.
Yeah, how you doing tonight? Everybody having fun?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I got something for Biggs, seeing as though he's a big Hillary fan. I think we'll have to let Trump know and tell everybody Hillary's true middle name is Bilderberg. So it would be Hillary Bilderberg Clinton. I think that would help him a lot. Anyhow, I've been watching the ticker on Fox, and Cruz came in third in one state, and Kasich came in second in all the rest. So that should tell you how good Cruz is pounding about getting
right
Trump out of there.
Yeah, I mean, nobody likes him, and his percentages have just gone down as the year has drawn out longer. And Kasich is actually, because he's just one of the three, he's actually coming in second a lot of the time. He's just not really getting any of the delegates, but it's just pretty interesting. He still has less delegates than Marco Rubio.
But combined, they aren't even coming near Trump's totals.
Right, like nowhere near it, even with joining forces and becoming a super duo. Well, John in Wisconsin, thank you so much. Let's go ahead to our last caller, Steve in Los Angeles.
Thank you, Leanne, for taking my phone call. Thank you for all of your guys' work. You guys are an amazing group. It's blessed to hear your guys' reports and everything else in the mornings, in my drive. You guys are the best. Now, one of the questions I have is, or the only question I have is, if Trump wins, becomes president, do you think he is someone who's capable of actually trying to get his administration to prosecute the Bush administration in any way, to show the world that we are serious, to show the New World Order that we're serious, that their hold on this country has expired? I mean, do you see something happening like that, and do you believe that that is why they are running scared of someone like Trump?
I would love to see something like that. I think Hillary prosecution would probably be more likely. The Bushes, they're very deeply connected. As you can see, the Bush legacy. You had a father, son. They tried to put in another son. Will people let that happen? I don't have an answer for that.
That's one of those things that people out there need to just start visualizing for themselves, visualizing Trump doing something like this, taking down the New World Order, and seeing that wholeheartedly, because that would be incredible. I mean, what is happening right now on the political scene is unheard of. I mean, I pretty much was sold that Hillary Clinton was just in it, or her or Bush, and right now, I mean, nobody knows what's happening. We're about to have a hotly contested convention, protests, potential riots. Anything could happen right now, but Trump is the only one that dared to utter 9/11 there at the debate and called Bush out on his brother. The towers fell on your brother's watch. And yeah, and talking about releasing the 28 pages. He's not going to take this lying down. So I think that's awesome, and something that people really should start visualizing, because that's what we need to start seeing for our future, is the end of the New World Order's hold on us.
Well, and I think if this bill passes, where families from victims of 9/11 are able to sue Saudi Arabia, you're going to see those Bush connections come out in court.
Right.
And you're going to see how Clinton they protected them and flew these guys out and worked with them. I mean, you know, Colin Powell was having breakfast with the head of the Pakistani ISI who wired $100,000 to Muhammad Atta on the morning of 9/11. That'll all come out.
Right.
I mean, we already know it, and it's already been out there, but it'll come out again. And it seems like that 9/11 is now getting, you know, kind of whisked up in the batter here that we're living in. It's having a little more effect than last time because people are going, yeah, you know what? That is messed up. That is messed up that Saudi Arabia is a country that we're selling arms to, and yet it looks like they're implicitly involved in 9/11. So we definitely, hopefully he'll go after Hillary Clinton first because we can get rid of the Clinton dynasty, which, you know, since Hillary is George Bush's sister-in-law, by de facto, I think we can then start going after the Bushes and the things they have done.
Right. Absolutely.
And guys, when it comes to 9/11, I think that it hadn't really been talked about, but I'm pretty darn sure there's going to be Clinton fingerprints on 9/11 as well that really haven't been opened up and discussed. That hasn't been opened up yet. And this 28 pages and the Saudi Arabian investigation may lead up the ladder to the Clintons as well as obviously the Bushes.
Oh, yeah, because their friendship goes way back as well with the whole legacy. So absolutely, there are going to be some fingerprints. Steve in Los Angeles, thank you so much for calling in. And thank you to everyone who called in tonight. We were able to clear the board.
We do have a little bit of Trump here. Why don't we pipe him in real quick? He's finishing up his campaign speech. It looks like he's in New York City.
Really worthy places to distribute the funds. Far over the edge, but we will have people backing the party and backing the presidency, and we're going to win, and we're going to beat Hillary Clinton, and it's not even going to be hard. Thank you.
Yeah. You have a mic that's feeding into it, and it's messing up all the audio. You have it.
One of these microphones here is open.
The microphone is
Never mind. Sounds like there's bad audio.
Yeah, it looks like they're talking. They're getting some bad audio.
Everybody has bad audio sometimes.
Well, go ahead and you guys can watch Trump's speech now. We're going to go ahead and call it a night, I guess, here. It is 9:10 and 5 seconds here in Austin, Texas. And myself and the rest of the crew want to say thank you to